Hey everyone, Ready here back with another Pokemon playthrough. If you haven't seen my previous video, welcome to our little trip down memory lane. We're celebrating Pokemon Yellow's 25th anniversary by playing through the game again. That's right, this game was released 25 years ago this month, back in 1999. This game is incredibly nostalgic for me, and I'm so excited to dive back in. I hope these videos get a lot of views because I want to hear about your favorite memories playing these games. This series is all about the nostalgia, and so far it's been a lot of fun. Last time we left off just outside Mount Moon, so let's head inside and see what's different. Honestly, not much has changed, but that's okay. Our team is still a little on the weak side, so we made sure to battle every trainer in here for the experience. A lot of matchups favor Mankey and Butterfree, so they leveled up quickly. Low Kick is great against the rock and normal types, and Confusion does well against the poison types we're encountering. Both are solid moves for this stage of the game. We're also switch training to spread experience evenly. Team Rocket isn't putting up much of a fight either. I made sure to grab a Moonstone, and I think most of you know what I'm planning to do with it. Before you know it, we defeat the Super Nerd and we grab the Dome Fossil. One downside is that Pikachu is underleveled, it's only at level 12, and even against Super Nerd's Voltorb, it didn't hit very hard. We need Pikachu in better shape since I'm counting on it for the upcoming gym. But for now, we get to enjoy one of the additional perks of this version, which is battling Jesse and James. I almost forgot about this part, but as we got past Brock in the past episode, I remembered that this showdown comes up at the end of Mount Moon. So I guess we were prepared for trouble. First up for them is Ekans, so I switched to Butterfree. A quick Confusion makes short work of Ekans, but not before we get hit with Poison Sting. Next is Meowth, and I wanted Pikachu to gain some experience. Unfortunately, Meowth's bite takes Pikachu out in one hit. Nidoran steps in next, and Double Kick brings Meowth down to yellow health. Nidoran is pretty beaten up too, but it manages to survive a scratch with just 1 HP, which gives it the chance to finish off Meowth on the next turn. Lastly, Jesse and James send out Coughing. Butterfree returns to the field and hits Coughing with Confusion, bringing it to half health. I thought another Confusion would finish it, but it falls short. Luckily, Coughing's tackles are weak, and a third Confusion ends the battle. As I mentioned earlier, we need to work on leveling up Pikachu because right now it's not ready for some of the tougher battles ahead. The need for more training becomes obvious when we reach the house in Cerulean City where the girl gives away Bulbasaur. She'll only give it to us if Pikachu really likes us, which is based on Pikachu's friendship level. It's an interesting mechanic and a precursor to the friendship system we see in Generation 2 and beyond. I'm not sure if training Pikachu against wild Pokemon would be faster, so I decided to give the rival battle a shot instead. First up for our rival is Spearow, and it never manages to land a hit, mostly due to poor move choices. Thundershock doesn't one-shot it, so it does take a few turns, but Pikachu eventually takes Spearow down. Since Sandshrew is immune to electric-type moves, I switched to Butterfree. Fusion is still a great option here, and Sandshrew barely scratches us. When Rattata comes out, I switch to Mankey, who takes it down with 1 low kick. The final Pokemon is Eevee, which survives a low kick, but Mankey's Karate Chop finishes it off, giving us the win. The rival battle went really smoothly, and it opened up the northern routes where we can get more battles in, but gaining experience isn't the only highlight of this route. While on Nugget Bridge, Nidoran evolved into Nidorino. We could evolve it into Nidoking now since we have the Moonstone, but I don't quite remember when is the best time to do that, so we're going to hold off for now. We're also using these battles to level up our team, but I have to be honest, Pikachu is still a weak link. Sure, it gained a few levels, but it fainted several times along the way, and Thundershock just doesn't seem as strong as I remember from when I was a kid. It's a bit depressing when Pikachu faints and you have to do the walk of shame without it falling behind. Once we get past Nugget Bridge, we have a few new additions to the team. The first comes from the random guy who decides he's not cut out to be a Pokemon trainer and is about to release the Charmander into the wild. Seriously, why would anyone release the best Gen 1 starter like that? No complaints from me though, I'll gladly take it off his hands. Now I just need to think of a good nickname for this guy. Charmander has always been my favorite starter in Generation 1, so he deserves a name with some nostalgia. I'm thinking Char Char, that fits perfectly. I can't wait to get him caught up with the rest of the team. That said, Charmander won't be of much help in the battle we're about to face. It might be a bit premature, but we're going to try and get the Cascade badge from Misty. Pikachu could be at a higher level, but I think it's up for the challenge. Staryu is 2 levels higher than Pikachu, which makes it faster and able to hit us with a tackle. Ugh, and that's a critical hit. I played safe and paralyzed Staryu with Thunder Wave. Now that we're faster, Thundershock brings it down to half health, but another tackle puts Pikachu in the yellow. Thundershock doesn't quite finish Staryu off, and a water gun takes us down to red health. At least we managed to knock out Staryu on the next turn, but we are in rough shape for Starmie. Misty wastes a turn giving Starmie an X-Defend, which won't help against our electric moves, so I use Thunder Wave again. Unfortunately, Thundershock barely dents Starmie, and Pikachu gets knocked out by a water gun. I send out Nidorino, but Horn Attack hardly makes a difference, and that's probably due to that X-Defend. So I switch strategies and start spamming Leer to lower Starmie's defense. We manage to get a few more in before Bubble Beam takes Nidorino down. Butterfree is next, but the problem is it only has one attacking move and Starmie resists it. Plus, Butterfree's defense isn't great. I would know having just finished a solo Butterfree challenge. We're taking a lot of damage without much progress, and Starmie keeps using Harden to make things worse. We do catch a break when one of Butterfree's confusions actually confuses Starmie, and it hurts itself a couple of times, bringing it down to red health. Unfortunately, Butterfree goes down shortly after that. With Starmie paralyzed and at low health, I send out Charmander. A critical hit scratch finishes off Starmie. Honestly, the crit wasn't even necessary. And we get our second gym badge. Charmander gains 3 more levels, and despite being one of the easier gym battles in Yellow, it turned out to be quite a challenge. Now we have another exciting task ahead of us, catching Mew. If you notice, we aren't standing in front of the SS Anne, so that kid who told you Mew is under the truck was definitely wrong. This is something I've always wanted to do as a kid, but I chalked it up to a playground myth since no one I knew had a Mew or knew about the Mew glitch. Later when I got older and I was messing around with these games, I found instructions online and I gave it a shot. To my surprise, it actually works, so we're going to do that here. For those unfamiliar with the glitch, the first step is to catch an Abra in the patch of grass west of Nugget Bridge. But here is the important part. You cannot start a battle with the trainer on the right side of the grass. Avoid him at all costs because if you battle him, you'll lose the chance to get Mew this early in the game. This part of the glitch isn't hard, it's just tedious. As you can see, Abras don't appear very often, and for those familiar with the game, you know that when they do show up, they'll immediately try to teleport away. All we can do is walk around until we find one, throw a Pokeball, and hope it doesn't escape. It took several tries, but we eventually got one. Step 1 is complete. Now we just need to get out of this patch of grass and position ourselves just outside of that trainer's range, the one I mentioned earlier. You might want to save here just in case the next step doesn't go as planned. It can be a bit tricky. What we want to do is step right in front of that trainer's line of sight, but open the game menu before the exclamation point pops up above his head. Like I said, this might take a few attempts. Once you're in the game menu, go to your party, select Abra, and have it teleport you back to the Pokemon Center. Hopefully you have visited the Cerulean City one before you did this glitch. Now that you're back at the Pokemon Center, this is where things get a bit glitchy. The game menu won't pop up as usual and you can't fully interact with the game like you normally would, but don't worry, everything will be back to normal soon. The next step is to head back up towards Bill's house and get into a battle with a youngster who has a Slowpoke on his team. Make sure to avoid any other trainers along the way, and when you approach him, you need to be far enough away that he has to walk up to you. If he's too close and doesn't walk up, the glitch will fail and the game will freeze. But if done correctly, he will walk up to you and you'll have a normal battle. By the way, Pikachu has been doing a bit of grinding before this battle. Slowpoke's Confusion can be a scary move, but since it's water type, it can't withstand Pikachu's Thundershock. After winning the battle, we need to head back to Cerulean City. As you approach Nugget Bridge, the game should pause and the menu will pop up randomly. Exit out the menu and you will immediately be forced into a battle with a level 7 Mew. Yes guys, you can actually catch it. Well, theoretically. For some reason in this gameplay, the little dude just won't stay in the Pokeball. Okay, I ran out of Pokeballs, we'll have to give this another try. I have to catch Mew in this playthrough. There we go. It took a while, but we finally paralyzed and weakened Mew enough to catch it. I decided to nickname it Mew Species. Get it? Some of you will. I'm not sure how long I'll keep Mew on the team. It's a strong Pokemon, especially since it is considered a legendary, and it can learn every team in the game, so there are plenty of options for how we can use it. Now, I know I said no glitches in this playthrough, but come on, this one had to be the exception, right? From here on out though, we'll avoid glitches and hacks as best we can. I say that because the badge boost glitch is bound to happen in some battles, but you know what I mean. Well, we've tackled the major tasks here in Cerulean City, but there are still a few more things we need to wrap up before we move on. For example, we need to battle the Team Rocket Grunt who gives us the Dig TM, and we still have to figure out why on earth we can't get a Bulbasaur from this lake. so I made sure to battle everyone we haven't taken out yet, which turned out to be more trainers than I thought. Honestly, looking back, maybe I should have battled them all before facing Misty. We also picked up the SSN ticket from Bill while we're in the area. At this point, Pikachu should be glowing with happiness and have a high friendship level. There's no way we won't get Bulbasaur now, right? Well, think again. Still no Bulbasaur. I'm really not sure what's going on. Grinding against wild Pokemon seems like the only option left. I swear this was way easier when I was a kid. It used to be as simple as walking in, talking to a girl, and boom, you got a Bulbasaur that you can use as a backup against Misty. Clearly that's not the case this time around. I don't even know how close we are in getting it, but we'll grind for a bit, check back, and go from there. After some more grinding, we go back and we are still not able to receive Bulbasaur. This is getting ridiculous. There's gotta be something else we can do. I still don't know why Pikachu's friendship value is not high enough, but for whatever reason, it just isn't. So I go to the internet and I found a possible solution I have never heard of before. Apparently, if we have Pikachu at full health and we give it potions, then its friendship value will rise. I don't know by how much, but I'm going to give this a try. Eventually we got a fist pump from Pikachu. Now that's a new one I haven't seen. I took that as a good sign, and sure enough, we finally got Bulbasaur. Looking back, yeah, we probably should have worked on this before battling Misty, but hey, we got that badge anyway. Getting the starter means a lot to me for nostalgic reasons. As a kid, I wanted to complete my Pokédex in all of my Generation 1 games, and getting all the starters was definitely a challenge. I had this brilliant idea of trading my fully evolved yellow starters into my silver version, then breeding them with a Ditto at the daycare to get eggs. I'd hatch the eggs, trade the new starters to the other games, and once I had each starter in the right game, I would trade the original back to yellow, rinse and repeat. The problem was this process took a while, and eventually I forgot about it and stopped playing for a bit. Time passed, and one day I found a box with my Game Boy Color, my Game Boy Advance, and all my games. Generation 2 is my favorite, so I grabbed my silver version first, but when I turned on my Game Boy Color, all I got was a white screen. After a few more attempts, I got the dreaded message that the cartridge's battery had died. I panicked and did some research, and I learned that the save files in these old games were tied to the battery, meaning when the battery died, so did the save file. I don't know when it happened, but at some point I lost my Typhlosion, my Lugia, my first shiny, which was a Krabby that I randomly caught in the wild, and some baby starters. Worst of all, Venusaur was still in that daycare, so it never made it home. My yellow version still works, so Blastoise and Charizard are back where they belong, but their Cabbage Frog friend will never see them again. I know it's just a game, but it's sad to think about losing something you spent so much time raising and battling, and in a way, they are something that grew up along with you. These pocket monsters did create a lot of meaning for some of us as we played this game growing up. So, to honor that Venusaur, I nicknamed this Bulbasaur Legend, because legends never die. This little guy will carry the legacy on, and it will be a strong addition to the team. Our team is shaping up nicely, and there's still so much ahead of us, but for now, we're going to call it a day. In the meantime, check out some of my other challenges, and don't forget to like videos, subscribe for updates, and leave comments about what you enjoyed, what challenges you'd like to see in the future, and any suggestions you have for me improving these videos. Your creative input is always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and until next time, Geronimo.